Welcome to Divorced from Reality with Johnny Bardine.
Welcome to Divorced from Reality with Johnny Bardine. Johnny is a dedicated attorney who has been serving the Tampa Bay community for over a decade. With a mission to help individuals and families through their most challenging times, Johnny provides compassionate, fierce advocacy in all family law matters. I'm Lisa Mosby, your host. Johnny, on February 23rd, you mailed an open letter signed by 383 Stetson Law alumni. We're recording this on February 25th, and by the time this airs next week, there may or may not be a response. Today we have a special guest, Rachael Reese. And Johnny, let's start at the beginning. Why did you do this?
Well, I've been following, like a lot of people have been following, the Trump administration's rollout of and handling of the Epstein investigation, and I've not been terribly impressed by it. And the Department of Justice has been charged with releasing these files under a deadline, redacting them appropriately, being forthright and candid about them. And I think the turning point for me where I had to do something was when I saw Attorney General Pam Bondi give what you could call testimony before the House Judiciary Committee on February 11th. The Attorney General went to my law school, and I was, to say I was embarrassed was an understatement. After that, I thought her handling of that testimony was aggressive, untrue, deflective, and not up to the standards of my profession or what we were taught at Stetson University College of Law. So I took it upon myself to do something about it. So I drafted this open letter.
So, Johnny, what crossed the line for you, and why did you write the letter?
Well, what crossed the line, I think, is just that, lawyers already have a public perception problem, right? But I don't think all of it's earned. For the most part, my colleagues are honest, ethical people who believe in their charge to defend people who can't defend themselves. And that's just not what we've seen from this Department of Justice. And so when I was watching the testimony, I was embarrassed that we have the same law school, right? So I thought, all right, I'll write a letter to the dean. And then the next thought was, that won't do anything if it's just me. So I posted it on social media that I'd finalized a draft of an open letter, which I had not finalized, and then it got some traction after that. And so I completed the letter. I sent it out to everybody starting on President's Day, and within 6 days, we had 383 alumni who signed onto it.
Was there a specific moment when you thought, I can't stay silent?
Well, yeah. The moment in the testimony in which the Attorney General would not acknowledge, speak to, or apologize the Epstein survivors that were in the room, even when she was asked. And I thought that was so glib and so unempathetic that we had to do something to let people know that we cannot accept that. If you went to Stetson University College of Law, you cannot accept that.
Did you expect this to become, or have any idea that this could become what it has become?
Not a clue. It succeeded what I thought was possible. The sort of internal number in my mind was 40 or 50. If I could get 40 or 50 alumni, I'd be happy with that, and I think that would create some movement. But by the end of the first day, the letter could have been signed. We were at 65 or 70 signatories, and on the last day, we doubled our total. We got over 200 in the last 24 hours of signing it. So I've been blown away by the response, and it's even after the mailing of the letter, it's continued to gain some traction.
And Johnny, what did it feel like when attorneys like Rachael started signing?
I was really impressed with the galvanization from the community, and Rachel's been particularly vocal and helpful in her input with me during this, and I think it causes some. It requires some bravery to do that, to stand up to power. But so I was pleasantly surprised. But as we get through this, I'm not surprised. I mean, what we're supposed to do as lawyers is take on power structures and not be afraid to do so.
Can you walk us through the 6-day sprint? How did this go from draft to 383 signatures? You kind of let in a little bit about the days on things when they were coming in, but walk us through it.
It was entirely, I wish I had a better answer for you because I don't know. It was entirely organic. A few people signed it to begin with, and they shared it, and they kept sharing it, and we avoided blasting listservs or spamming emails. We didn't do any of that. It was just person-to-person contact and good old-fashioned retail politics that got us there. And it helps that we're right. It's kind of an easy sell to ask people to stand up for their ethics and the things that they've been taught.
What number did it feel historic that you knew that you were in the midst of a movement of some sort?
After the first day, I sort of artificially sent out an email that set our goal at 300, and I didn't really have any empirical data to think that we could get there. But when we were rounding the bend and we surpassed 300, I'm like, this could be something cool, and this something neat, and I still believe that. Yeah.
Let's throw this over to Rachael. Rachael, when did you first see the letter?
I first saw the letter on, I believe it was on the 17th. So on Monday or Tuesday the 17th. I did cheat. I went back and looked because I wanted to be 100% accurate. But as soon as I saw it, before I could even read the whole thing, I had messaged Johnny immediately.
Rachael, how did it reach you?
Well, it reached me on my lovely homepage feed of Facebook, which ironically I don't really use that often because I use other platforms more regularly. But in a very kind of ironic sequence of events, I got an email where I needed to go on there, and Johnny's post was the first thing that was there. So when I saw Stetson Alum, I was just kind of immediately drawn to it, and that's how it came to my attention.
So Rachael, what was your immediate reaction when reading it?
My immediate reaction was to not even finish reading it. I saw the basic overall topic, and I knew instantly that this was something that I wanted to be part of before I even got to the end of the actual post itself.
Did you hesitate at all before signing it?
No, I messaged Johnny, and this just kind of goes to my other answer. I actually messaged Johnny before I got to the end of the post because I was so eager, because I had been so frustrated for days about what I had seen on the 11th, I think. I messaged him because in the original post it said, if you want to be added on, just message me. And then he had actually kind of edited that and included later on the actual link. So I messaged him 2 times back to back. I was like, oops, my bad. I jumped the gun on this because I was so excited. So I don't think I could have acted any faster.
What made you decide to attach your name publicly?
I think something that Johnny said resonates with me. We, as attorneys, we have this, not an obligation, but I believe it's a responsibility to advocate in certain ways. And I hold a lot of my success and my reputation towards the school that taught me those things. And I've always tried to use any platform that I can, written, oral, online, in person, otherwise, to make sure that my voice is heard when it's appropriate. So this was just one of those other opportunities that in order for people to recognize where we are currently as a society, that as many people as possible have to stand up and support what is right. And that signing that was what was right.
With over 300 signatures, at some point you had to have been hearing things from other people. What were you hearing from others as this spread?
Because of the length of time that Johnny had kind of put it out there, the 6-day sprint and whatnot, I think that the feedback obviously could and will be more. But as of what it was, all that I heard from anyone that I knew from Stetson that I talked to this about was, I had previously heard outrage, anger, disappointment. And then when people saw this was an opportunity for them to get involved and to put their name on something, it was a relief almost, and almost optimism and hope that they could, they could sleep a little bit easier, knowing that somebody was doing something that would hopefully undo some of the damage that we all believed had happened and will continue to happen otherwise until something like this had happened.
Thank you so much for sharing your perspective on this experience. And Johnny, I want to pop back over to you. Do you find that people were more privately supportive than publicly? And I want you to talk a little bit more about your experience through this whole process.
Well, when I first posted that I was working on this letter, what I expected was a response that said, "Oh, somebody else is already working on this, and you can sign that letter." And I didn't get that response. But what I got was a real hunger for some leadership here, some organized leadership in our Stetson Law community to do something about this and say something about it. And so there's been some folks have issues with their employer being public about this kind of thing and things like that. I certainly understand that and don't pressure that. But those people have even shared it privately among their friends, even if they couldn't sign it themselves. I just think that you never know what is going to happen with these things, like whether the school is going to respond or you're going to win or whatever it is. But I do think people really care about, in this moment, historically documenting where they were and what they stood for and what they did.
And I think we'll leave it there for this episode. Folks, stay tuned for part 2. And thank you for listening to Divorced from Reality with Johnny Bardine. For more information or to connect with Johnny, visit bardinelawfirm.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review if you found this episode helpful.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.